Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with another Magic Maker project for hobby hoppers and I'm so excited to show you this one. Today I'll be using the new platform pop-up die by Lawnfawn and my Two Can Do It stamp set. I was going through all of my stamps the other day and as soon as I saw this one, I knew this set would look fantastic with this new interactive die. So to get started, I'm going to cut some perfectly plaid paper from the 6x6 inch pad, and I've gone with a rainbow plaid today. I did try really hard to cut this straight, but as you will see a little later, one of them is slightly crooked and it really shows up with this type of paper. So it's something to keep in mind when you're picking patterns for this particular die. Once I had cut out both base pieces from my paper, I then moved on to stamping. I'm using the two big cats and the two toucans and a little lizard from this set. I'm also stamping the branches, the big one twice. I was super excited to assemble the interactive parts of this card. I knew I didn't have to do any colouring or anything else on these first. I could just assemble them and put them aside until I needed them later. So I followed the directions in one of the Lawnfawn tutorials, and honestly this was incredibly easy. Although I did get a little too excited and I skipped ahead at one point, forgetting to add the middle T and adhering the two sides together in the centre and not just on the side tab. It was all a very easy fix. I just had to slow down. My colouring today consists solely of Copic markers from my small collection. I tried to match the colours of my pattern paper as best as I could with the markers that I have to create this pastel jungle scene. Like I mentioned earlier, I was going through my stamps a few days ago, and when I did, I found 5 stamp sets that I absolutely must turn into interactive cards immediately. I messaged Trish, the owner of Hobby Hoppers, and put a few ideas to her, and we both felt that this pastel jungle themed card was the one we wanted to see come to life the most. I'm glad we went with it because this card is one of those few cards that turned out exactly as I had planned. It's like I literally plucked the idea out of my head and can now hold it in my hands. And speaking of Trish, as I mentioned, she is the owner of Hobby Hoppers, an amazing small crafty business based in Melbourne that I am so lucky to work with every month to bring you fun and inspiring projects. Hobby Hoppers stocks my favourite brand, Lawnfawn, and a whole heap of other amazing craft supplies. A few of my top picks from the website are the Jelly Roll pens that I'll be using in just a minute to add highlights to all of my stamped images, and water-based pigments that are so stunning and make every project so magical. I'll leave the link to the website in the description box below so that you can check everything out for yourself. Once I was done with my colouring, I then moved on to cutting out some leaves with my metal dies. I'm using my tropical leaves and a few of the small leaves from the tropical leaf border, and I'm cutting them all from some white cardstock. I also cut some pieces of grass from the platform pop-up set to cover the tops of those little white tees. I thought this would look great for a jungle floor. I coloured these in with bright green Copic markers to match the green in the images and the paper. I added some double-sided tape to these to adhere them to those tees, and I also ran some anti-static powder over the back of these just in case there was a little bit of tape sticking out around the edges. I really didn't want it to get stuck in any parts when I folded this card into its, I guess, tucked away position. The last thing you'd want would be for it to get stuck and not be able to pop up. Once the grass was all stuck on, it was then time to start adding my little characters. So here I am using some of the branches to create a little tree. And I trimmed the other branch down just so that it doesn't look identical to this one. This little toucan sitting up in his tree is just so cute. Adding these characters and setting up the scene was by far one of the most fun crafty experiences that I have had in a while. Not only is the platform pop-up piece so simple to put together, making this experience much easier than I thought it was going to be, but then being able to decorate it was just heaps of fun. If you've been following along with what I make for a while, you'll know that I love my 3D projects. I've always loved making things with my Cricut and being able to make 3D cards. So being able to make this one so easily was so great, and honestly I can see myself using this interactive die with almost every stamp set that I own. It's a little overwhelming the amount of options we have here. I've only completed one of these cards so far, but I can already see that this particular die is just going to change the way that I make cards for a very long time. I coloured in all of my white leaves with the same Copics that I used to colour in my little animals. This is just to keep that colour scheme very consistent throughout all the elements of this piece. And as I was popping that up and down, you may have seen that one of those big cats, his little ears are just poking out above those scallops, like he's stalking through the grass and is about to pop out, and I feel like that could not have been more perfect placement. It is just so cute. I added my other birdie up in the smaller tree that I cut from that branch. And you'll see as I fold this up and down many times because it's fun, and to give it a test to make sure that they don't stick out too much and that nothing is getting caught in the way of these moving pieces. I didn't know what sentiment to use with this card, and a few of them from this stamp set were a little too long, so I went with a very simple toucan do it. It fit perfectly on this little die cut that comes with the platform pop-up. I stuck this on the very front of my card and added the little lizard to the top. And here is our finished platform pop-up pastel jungle card. This was truly one of the most fun cards that I have ever made, and I hope you love it as much as I do. And I hope it inspires you to grab this set for yourself and give it a go, because it is so easy and so much fun. I'll leave you with some finished photos of this card. Don't forget to check out Hobby Hoppers, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already to see what I make next. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.